Okay, friends, so let's look at some other statements besides credit card company contradictions. And we're on the get. We'll do some math, we'll do some politics, we'll do some civics, we'll do some punk rock in the homework. We'll have a good time with this. Okay, so here's one to start with. Oregon has 5 congressional districts. That's a statement. True or false? You decide. Okay, got your answer? Well, if you said true, exactly correct. It has Oregon 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oregon has not always had 5. I believe maybe 20 or 25 years ago there were 4, and there's maybe talk of having a 6th one added. But right now, currently, April 29th, 2020, there are 5 congressional districts in Oregon. All right, next statement. All 5 of these congressional districts are the same size when measured in population. True or false? If you said true, again, you're correct. Now let's make sure we define what quote unquote same size is with measured in population. If you check the way Congress apportions districts is based on population. It takes the states and breaks them into pieces so that the pieces all have roughly the same number of people in them. Last I checked, they have about 700,000 people per district in each of the districts. Now, if you multiply 700,000 times 5, you get 3.5 million, which is actually less than the population of Oregon, which necessarily therefore means that we can't have 700,000 in all 5 districts. There must be more. However, that's when reapportionment happens. And right now, again, as I'm recording this video, the census in 2020 is being taken, and maybe we'll get reapportioned. I don't know. But the idea of equal population is kind of the cornerstone of districting in the country. Okay, another statement. All 5 of these congressional districts are the same size when measured by area. That one's definitely false. Definitely false. Here's a view of the 5 districts. Bend is in District 2, currently represented by Greg Walden. He's retiring this year. I think District 3 is represented by Earl Blumenauer, I believe. Susan Bonamici, I believe, has District 1 up here. Oh boy, we're testing Sean Civics. I think Kurt Schrader is District 4. And I believe that means DeFazio is District 5, Peter DeFazio. Woo! Let's see, we're going to check this later when I edit the video, see if I got it right. But anyway, unless a state is uniformly populated, there's no way that the districts can be uniformly sized. There are definitely, if you've ever explored Eastern Oregon, there's a lot more land out here than people. And if you've ever gone up here, there's a lot more people than land. So you have to make the land bigger to include the correct number of people to get them roughly equal population sizes. All right, cool. Let's try some other ones. Okay. Speaking of Oregon and its districts, recently, some Eastern Oregon residents petitioned to leave the state and join Idaho. True or false? That is true. Very, very true. Within the past year, January of 2020, there was a formal prospective petition put forward so that a big chunk of District 2, and it looks like even into District 5 down here, would secede along with some of Northern California and become part of Greater Idaho. And what's interesting, if I actually read this petition, it's really cool. They talk about other states that have done this in the past. So it's true. This did happen. This did happen not only a couple months ago. Okay, next statement. When I say this, I mean this secession of Oregon and California going to Idaho. This is a good idea. True or false? It's neither true nor false. That's not a logical statement. That's an opinion, because depending on who you talk to, it either is a good idea or it's not a good idea. And the problem with a statement is it can't be either true or false depending on context. It has to be uniformly true or uniformly false. It doesn't have truth or falsehood in the logical sense. So being a good idea, it makes for great discussion, but it doesn't make for good logic. All right, so that's that. Let's visit math now. Let's leave politics aside, civics aside. Let's look at math. Any square is also a rectangle. True or false? Okay, you got your answer? It is definitely true. So this is where we have to get a little bit mathy. If you think about what makes a square, it's two things. It's got 4 equal sides, which would not necessarily make it a rectangle, but it also has to have 4 equal angles, which is what makes a rectangle a rectangle. So a square definitely has all the properties of a rectangle. That makes it true. Okay. Any rectangle is also a square. True or false? Definitely false. Here's a contradiction. I drew a rectangle. That's not a square. Now, did you see how easy it was to show that that statement was false? It just had to come up with one contradiction. Look, you said that a rectangle is a square. Boom, there's a rectangle that's not, therefore your statement isn't true. Making a statement true is very, very, very challenging. And I think this is why courts work the way they do. They assume innocence until enough evidence exists to prove the contradiction of innocence. Okay, you know, I can't leave Oregon alone. Let's look back at Oregon. Portland, Oregon is named after Portland, Maine. True or false? True. I encourage you, if you're interested, look at the history of Oregon. Here's some more Oregon history for you. Portland, Oregon was named because of a coin flip. If the coin had flipped the other way, the largest town in Oregon would be named Chicago. True or false? Now, I want to be clear about this. There's actually 2 statements in this statement. There's the first one, which is Portland, Oregon was named because of a coin flip. That part is actually true. But the other part is false. The other part is false. And the contradiction is that if the coin had flipped the other way, it would have been called Boston, not Chicago. But it was named because of a coin flip. Here's one more statement. Portland should have been named Chicago. Now, hopefully you're realizing that is not a logical statement at all. Not even close. Not even close. Because it reeks of opinion. And also, we'd have to rename the Portland Thorns and the Portland Timbers. So hopefully you're getting the big idea here. Logical statements are either true or they're false. If they're false, you can show a contradiction to show that they're false. Anything else is not logical and can't be used in logical discussion and argument.